Hiya, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Yo, guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola, amigos. This is Billy Sheehan.
Hey, guys, this is John Karabi.
Hey, guys, it's Leva Leone.
What's up, guys? Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
What's up, everybody? It's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey, this is Cody Howell.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
My name's Reggie, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
The most amazing things that can happen to a human being will happen to you if you lower your expectations. Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace. Hi, I'm TBT. That guy over there, that's Ace. Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. This is episode 101. We made the hump. We're over 100, and now we're here. Welcome to everybody that's in the chat. Why are you guys already doing this? I was first. I was second. Blah, blah, blah. Who's in there? Natalie, of course, is in there. She's our moderator. I'm glad that you could actually make it on time. Digital Viper is in. He claims he was first. Technically, we were, but what do we know? Let's see who else. Sandra's in there. Mama TBT is in. Hello, Mama TBT. Hello to everybody. If you're watching this live, hopefully you're doing it on either Facebook or YouTube. If you're listening to it, you ain't seeing nobody unless they're watching the replay. But yeah, here we are. It's Tuesday, and we're back.
Fine.
It's been a hell of a week. I'm just going to put that out there.
It's been a rough.
We won't dive too far into that rabbit hole, but it has been a ridiculous week for you and I and a lot of people we know, but not just that. The amount of metal that is in the news right now is ridiculous. I don't want to jump right into it. I mean, we're only like 2 minutes in because we'll end up running out of stuff to talk about.
It's so funny that how the metal news ebbs and flows like that. You know, last week we're scrambling. The week before we're scrambling, trying to find things to talk about. And, you know, this week, quite a bit.
Did you say eggs and flows?
Ebbs and flows.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something like Tupperware. But yeah, it ebbs and flows. Hi, Shannon. Thanks for joining. And of course, hey, Kathy. Kathy's in there. Kathy with Music and More Records, of course. Never forget that. By the way, if you guys don't follow Kathy on social media at Music and More Records, please go follow her. Some of the stuff that she puts up that she's got in the shop, in the store that she has for sale or whatever, you may want to grab and get your hands on. So what the hell is going on with this beard? I tell you what, this morning, let me tell you my story. I leave the house, heading into work, dark 30, and go around the corner, boom, tree in the road. We had a storm last night, a decent storm. It rained about 12 inches of rain, at least by my calculation. Lots of rain, tree, boom. All right, I can move around the tree, get around it. Go down to the next stop sign, bang a left, boom, possum in the road. I didn't hit him. I missed him.
That's bad luck.
Well, yes, it is. Because I get further down the road, and I'm a good 2 to 3 car lengths behind the person in front of me. And he gets close to town, and I see it. A deer crossing the road. I'm like, well, it's going to suck. It sucked. Swerve to the left, swerve to the right, swerve back to the left. Boom. That deer went flying. Not me. I didn't hit the deer, but the dude in front of me did. I was like, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Deer didn't get up. He pulled over. I pulled up behind him. I get out and I'm like, dude, are you okay? He's like, yeah. Driving a Beamer. How does that suck?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks no matter what you hit or what you're in. But yeah, cracked it. Just, man, I look back at the deer. It ain't moving. I was like, yeah, it's done. But dude was okay, thankfully. I waited around for a little bit. Then his wife showed up got long story from the guy. Spent some time in the Navy, 10 years. Works out at one of the bases that's close to here, so he was leaving very early to get out there. And he said he's never had any issues going to where he was going, and he sees deer all the time. Leave it to the road he was on. And I was like, yeah. I was like, by the way, I almost hit a possum, so your bad luck is my fault. But yeah, whatever. Crappy morning.
Right.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, at least you were there to assist him.
Yes. Render moral support. I didn't even get his name, which is funny. I was like,
yeah,
I'm leaving.
I get some of the best conversations from people in circumstances like that, where we're just standing around waiting on something else, like a tow truck or the police to show up or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to hear other people's stories and where they're from and what they're doing.
Yeah. He had pancakes for breakfast. Dips them in syrup and then the butter. I mean, it was a good casual conversation. No, I really don't know about his pancakes. Can you hear my chair squeaking?
Yes, is that you?
Oh yeah, I didn't know it was that bad.
I think I heard it. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Well, it bothers me. I'm gonna have to pull a Pat McAfee and stand up the entire day. And yes, Kathy, it was a deer, a female deer, a doe, if you will.
I wouldn't have noticed it though if it hadn't been you pointing it out. But it also could be the chairs above me.
Oh, I didn't know if you were talking about the deer or the chairs.
In the dining room.
Oh,
it's not the deer are not above me.
Oh, you have people there?
There's always people here.
Do they know you're down there?
Of course.
Okay. All right. I thought it was like just turned into some weird horror movie or something.
No, I don't live in the basement to scare people.
That'd be fun. Anyway, so where was I going with this? Nowhere. It was just talking about a crappy morning. Whatever. I'm going to jump into this because this was not crappy, and I think this could really push us quite a ways with this whole conversation without getting political, because we don't do that here. Gojira lit up the world during the opening ceremonies for the 2024 Olympics being held over in good old Paris. And this is the first time that a heavy metal act has been involved in the opening ceremonies, and they killed it. No pun intended, from the headless people and wine that people thought was blood, or maybe it was blood and people thought it was wine. But the coolest thing is they were featured. They played this song. It was along with an opera singer. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but they absolutely killed it. I almost feel like we're back in the 80s and early 90s again, because now the critics are coming out and they're already saying that it was an extremely satanic performance.
That sounds so 80s.
Doesn't it? Where's the PMRC? We're going to have Tipper Gore show up and say, ban Gojira.
Everything was satanic in the 80s.
Ozzy?
I read, right? I was reading one of the stories about the opera singer. I found the name, but I couldn't pronounce it.
Close enough.
It was a French Revolution song that they performed, right?
Yes, I can't even pronounce the name of the song.
So it was a traditional song. It wasn't even an original Gojira composition.
Correct.
They were just allowed to metal it up.
Yeah. So with pyrotechnics, the graphic imagery, other intense sounds and visuals are nothing new to us that enjoy rock, enjoy metal. So we view it as like a badass thing, a huge opportunity for the genre to get some exposure. But for others, it'd be like going to an Alice Cooper concert and being completely shocked at what they see, not necessarily what they hear, but just what they see, with all the imagery and the theatrics and all that. There was no real theatrics to this performance by Gojira, except for the beginning with the headless woman. Well, here's the thing. Maybe do a little bit of research and know a little bit of French history and know who Marie Antoinette is because she was beheaded.
Right, right. It doesn't necessarily mean they were doing anything visually satanic.
Right.
I think part of the problem here is there were other things controversial to some people in the opening ceremonies.
Correct.
So Gojira is getting maybe thrown in with all of that.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think I'd ever heard of them before now.
Really?
I don't think I have.
I think I've mentioned him a few times on here.
Was I
Not,
listening?
I mean, do you ever?
No.
I was waiting for you to go, what?
What?
Um, the Gojira part, the having them up on this castle, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I read this or I heard it somewhere, where Marie Antoinette was
Go ahead.
beheaded is right there at that castle. So there was a little bit of, a little bit of history involved with the actual location that's where it actually happened. So to throw that bit of history in with that performance, I mean, to me, that just adds even more, oomph to it.
Significance.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like the word
Yeah.
umph.
Right. That too. The opera singer was Marina Viati.
It's very good. You almost sounded French.
I didn't try, but oh, thank you. But I'm just thinking that, if I hadn't heard of them, this probably really elevated their profile.
Oh, yeah.
Not just just even performing during the opening ceremonies, but also this whole show, this performance,
Right.
and the controversy. You know, it's going to up their profile more than anything because the controversy will go away. Eventually.
Eventually.
But yeah, I agree with you. If you knew the significance of where they were performing and what they were performing, you get it.
Yeah.
You
The vocalist, guitarist Joe Duplantier. That's what we're going to call him because Gojira is a French band. He said that it's French history. It's French charm, beheaded people, red wine, and blood all over the place. It's to them, it's romance. That's romantic. It's normal. It's not anything to be controversial. Every culture, every country that hosts the Olympics does this for the opening ceremony. They present their culture.
right,
We've had
right.
it in LA, and what did we have? We had OJ. Lots of orange juice, and we had it, in China or wherever, Japan when they did Tokyo. Kimonos and people in traditional garb. It's what they do. So why not feature history and their culture in the opening ceremony, which is exactly what they did. However, people freak out because they don't know that history and they think that one thing, which was the opening part, they think that one thing is actually something when it's not. And then we get, the satanic Gojira doing their thing and, just out there trying to manipulate people. Um, Joe added that they were surprised that they even were picked because mainstream people like Metallica, AC/DC, there were so many other choices. But
Yeah,
I applaud this, whatever it was, the Olympic Committee,
they were
the
they were handpicked.
yeah,
Uh,
whoever it was that decided to pick them. I mean, rock on. That was absolutely fantastic.
well, I'm sure being the French metal band, that would be putting them in the runner spot.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
but how many French rock bands are there?
that's a very good question. That are mainstream that we know of.
Right. There may be a French rock scene that the locals know,
Sure.
but
I'm going to
I,
look it up now.
yeah, I don't know.
Um, Okay, we'll stick with Gojira. There's a few others, but I've not heard of them. A couple of them I cannot even pronounce. There's a band from 1998 called Eiffel. I can pronounce that one because it's Eiffel Tower. And a 1977 band called Trust. And then there's others that I won't even try to pronounce. So, yeah, I would say that they are probably the most mainstream and the most deserving, I guess, of the French genre of metal to be able to do it. So, super applause for that because they did an awesome job. If you've not seen it, jump on the YouTubes, check it out. Type in Gojira Olympics. There's some reaction videos too. I was checking those out earlier. Watch some of those because it's funny. People, you're not used to seeing metal. We've clamored, I don't know how many times, how the Super Bowl needs to have a metal band. Well, did this just open the door? I think we'll see. And Digital Viper, I hope you're able to go wee all by yourself. Oh,
not all the way.
Gracious. Natalie actually hits a very good point. She says most. I'm gonna change that and say some, or a lot. A lot of Americans don't care to learn other cultures. I don't think it's necessarily that they don't care to learn. It's they don't understand that there are cultures that are outside.
Right. If you only know where you live and you don't care to expand beyond that, and I'm not saying you have to travel, but you don't study anything.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to know anything. You're going to follow the stereotype you see in a movie or on TV or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where stereotypes can be a problem.
There were some fans that decided to chime in on all these satanic mentions and all. And one person said that Gojira getting accused of doing satanic rituals ... metal is so back, which is kind of funny. The next person said this satanic panic stuff is so 1983.
It really is.
It is. It's what we said.
I mean, we grew up in it like in the Cold War. You grew up scared that you were going to get a bomb dropped on your head, right? In the 50s, right? You had the bomb shelters and they had drills and all that stuff. In the 80s, you were afraid you were going to get kidnapped by Satanists and sacrificed or something, and then no one would ever solve the mystery because they just disappear into the ether.
You'd be on the next episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
You would. Robert Stack would be talking about you in his trench coat.
Yeah. I wish I could do his voice, but I just can't. I can only do Reggie's.
He's got a distinct voice.
A lot of what some people don't know about Gojira is that they're so far away from the satanic realm. They've got songs that they're about nature, cleaning up garbage, saving the whales. I think that
anything about the river, cleaning up the river. How do you have 8 months to clean up a river and you don't clean up a river?
I don't know. It's kind of like a kid going to school when you've got like 3 months to do a report and you don't do the report. It's just me. You just don't do the report.
I don't know. I'm not watching the Olympics, so I don't know. But did they ever solve that problem? Because I know as of 2 weeks ago, that river was not clean.
All I know is that if somebody loses their swim cap, there is someone who will jump into the water and get it for you.
Well, that's nice. I guess.
I learned that yesterday.
I mean, that's polite.
Yeah, it is. Dude has no business being at the Olympics, but whatever. It's kind of like the golden retriever dog that gets the bat.
I was corrected. It's 8. They had 8 years, not 8 months. 8 years. Because they knew about the Olympics that far back.
Well, maybe they did clean it 8 years ago and then didn't clean it again. Because once you clean it once, you don't have to worry about it.
Here's another thing. Why would you want to have that in your city? Paris is a tourist, capital. People flock to Paris every year, all the time.
Correct.
So, right. So why do you have a dirty, filthy, unsanitary river?
I don't know.
Because the Olympic triathlon was postponed because of the water. I just got a text from one of our listeners.
They do not have the right chemicals. They need pool chemicals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't you just dump a bunch of chlorine in and
surely
check
they got Clorox?
Surely.
So bromine tabs, something.
I don't know the layout of Paris or the geography of Paris. I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure that this river, I think it runs right through a big part of town.
A river runs through it.
Yeah. And so you go for these romantic walks in the city of love, and you're walking right past this shitty river.
You go past Digital Viper, who's standing there taking a wee into the river.
And he would.
I know. Exactly. One good thing, which I think is kind of cool, surfing is we just turned the show into an Olympic recap. Surfing is an Olympic sport.
Yeah, shockingly.
You cannot surf in the river in Paris.
Where are they surfing at?
Tahiti.
Really?
I seen it the other day.
Okay, so they had to go to another place in the world that had waves.
Yes.
To do surfing.
Yes.
So are there going to be separate bids now for the Olympic Games and then the surfing?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I don't know where the last time the surfing was held, but no. It's like, that's all you get. You get Tahiti. You guys can do the surfing. Everything else is going to be in Paris. Well, I mean, it's an even trade.
Yeah, they're fine with that.
Oh, good grief. So, yeah, Gojira, Olympics, badass. It's awesome. Go check it out if you haven't already. Last week, we talked about, pretty sure it was last week, we talked about the fighting, if you will, the name calling, the belittling between Ozzy and Britney Spears.
Right.
Basically, Ozzy said that he's tired of seeing her shake her thing and felt sorry for her and she shouldn't be dancing on social media. And Britney came back and basically told the Osbournes that, they could F off. Well, guess what?
Right.
Ozzy. What? And Hades has frozen over. Ozzy has issued an apology.
Why do you think that's unusual?
Because he's getting soft in his old age. This is the same dude that used to snort ants off the sidewalk and he used to bite heads off of bats.
I think Ozzy's always been a bit kind-hearted.
Don't ruin the image for me.
I think he's always been a bit soft.
He has.
I think he's always been a nice guy. He just lacked a lot of backbone sometimes in standing up for himself. And I think he married his backbone.
You are so correct.
So him issuing an apology, I'm not shocked.
No. So the latest episode of the Osbournes podcast, which was put on their YouTube channel today, Kelly Osbourne asked her family to apologize to Spears for their previous remarks about her. Ozzy said that, and this is a quote, Britney, I'm saying it in our language so that we can understand it, not, I owe an apology. He says, Britney, I really owe you an apology. I am so sorry for making that comment. However, it would be better if you didn't do the same effing dance every day. Every day. Change a few movements. So it's an apology. He says, he continues on to say he didn't mean to be offensive, and he really does apologize. I love you, and I think you're beautiful.
So you're saying it was a backhanded apology?
No, I think it was funny and backhanded in the beginning, and then he cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah, he was trying to be funny,
right?
Which it kind of is funny.
It is. Since he apologized, Brittany has since deleted her Instagram account, so she can't really even respond on the gram anymore.
Not right now.
No, it's sad. I don't know what's sadder, her dancing or Ozzy's apology. But hey, kudos to Ozzy for doing it.
Right. I mean, the whole thing was silly.
It was.
The whole thing was silly in the first place, but
yeah. What do you do?
I guess someone had to say that her dancing was ridiculous and sad, but Ozzy thought he should do it.
Yeah. He's everybody's father. Everybody's dad.
Well, and maybe she needs more of that in her life.
Obviously.
Yeah. There's, who is there? There's no one there guiding her, is there?
I don't think so. And by golly, I don't think Ozzy's going to care if she wants to call him daddy.
If people got too controlling with anything with her, there would be another Free Britney movement. But I thought the conservatorship was kind of oppressive, but I still don't think that she is all right. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you are. I just like how you kept it very correct.
Well, you're letting me dig a hole.
I am. I'm standing at the top with my shovel, just looking as it gets deeper. But I mean, whatever. Yeah. Does she need some help? Maybe. What do we know? But
right.
It's Ozzy Osbourne. If Ozzy wants to talk smack, let him talk smack. I would let him talk smack about our show. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send it to him.
Sure.
Please and say, hey, at the 28-minute mark, we talk about you and your family's comments about Brittany. So complain something.
Please say something.
Yeah. Whatever. Very PC, but you're right, Ace. She needs guidance. See, Natalie cleaned it up. She said she needs guidance.
There we go. Guidance.
Yeah. Versus help.
Yeah, I agree. That might be better.
Help with her guidance.
Just someone to put their hands on the wheel, so to speak.
I don't think she should be driving.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe someone in the front seat and her in the back. I'll jump in the back seat with her just to make sure she's got her seatbelt on. Guess what I did?
What's that?
I went country again.
Oh, yeah, you sent me this.
Yeah. Don't remember where I seen it. It may have been on one of our places. But Corey Marks, not super familiar. However, I immediately jumped to this because he's a Canadian country music star, artist. I don't know. I don't want to say he's not a star. I want to take that back, but he's an artist. I don't know if he's up and coming. I think he's got 2 albums out, getting ready to release his 3rd in October. He just released a song, I believe 4 days ago on the 26th, that is called Make My Country Rock. Okay, clever title. I like it. And I did some more digging and I found an article about it. And this song features Travis Tritt, everybody knows from the country days.
Right.
Mick Mars and Sully freaking Erna from Godsmack.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you haven't watched this video to this song or even heard it, go check out our Facebook page. I know the Viper has already seen it. He's already commented. What a video. It's good. The song is good. Viper says it's definitely it was a banger. Definitely not country though. It's almost like it's today's country.
Yeah, what is country?
Right. Total credit to Corey Marks for putting this out. It is an absolute kick-ass song.
It's really good. Really good.
He's got a let's see. He's going to release his second full-length album entitled "Sorry for Nothing" on October 11th. It offers an unapologetic double-barreled blast of 13 songs, equally divided between his breakthrough blend of arena rock and roots country, alongside kindred spirits such as Eric Church, Zach Bryan, Hardy, Brantley Gilbert. Those are all country peeps. And then, well, is he though?
Yeah, Hardy rides that line of rock, country, pop, whatever he wants to be.
Right.
Rap.
The song "Make My Country Rock" again. It's featuring Sully Erna from Godsmack, Mick Mars, Travis Tritt. It's good. It's produced well. It's mixed well. Sully Erna's voice, unmistakable. You know when he's singing. It's kind of like listening to Stitched Up Heart. I can't remember which song it is, but they had a song that featured Sully Erna. And it's like, boom, as soon as he's there, it's like, man, and he's like 5 foot nothing, but his voice is freaking 20 foot tall.
Yeah, it puts a lot of grit into that song.
Oh, yeah. This is not, I don't know if I have this in front of me, but this is not the first time that that Corey Marks has had metal in his stuff. Let's see. I believe he's had Five Finger Death Punch on a song that was released back in 2019. And then for this album that's coming out, the second track, second track on the album, I think it's one that's already been released. It's called Guilty, and it features the DL of Bad Wolves. And if you remember Bad Wolves, they are the band that remade, I can't think of the song.
Zombie.
Yeah, they remade Zombie. Powerful voice. It's really, really good. So he's got some metal stuff on there. His album that's coming out, Sorry for Nothing, 13 tracks. And if anything's like the first two that have been released, it's gonna kick ass. We're gonna have to reach out to Mr. Mark's publishing people and maybe see if we can't get him on.
And it's not like Southern rock. Southern rock always had that rock vibe and heavy guitars and great guitar playing, but this isn't what this is. This type of stuff they're putting out with, like what Hardy does and what this guy does.
This is Northern rock. He's from Canada,
right?
So see, he doesn't have to have that Southern stuff. But yeah, check it out. We've already posted the video on our Facebook. Don't do it now. Wait till after the podcast and then go watch it. And let us know what you think. If you like it, great. We've tagged Corey in it. So anything you say, keep it clean. That's you, Digital Viper. So make sure you're paying attention. But it's very good. I know we talked about Sully Erna and some of the other stuff he's done. And then I mentioned that he's worked with Stitched Up Heart on one of their tracks. Well, they're in the news as well this week, as we saw them when they opened up for Steel Panther. No idea that they were going to be as good as they were. Blew me out of the water. I'm pretty sure I talked about it when I came back from that show. They are already about 20 songs into their next record. So doesn't necessarily mean that all 20 are going to be on it, but
a lot to pick from.
Oh yeah, which is good. You don't want to not have enough. They just released To the Wolves in September of 23. So I don't know, maybe early next year, summertime or so, we'll have another record from Stitched Up Heart. Mixie, who is their female front woman, is that what we call them? A front woman? She's got one of those voices that's just incredible. So, she got that brutal scream when she needs to, but other than that, she sounds like a doll. That could be a commercial. Anyway. I have to take a drink, so that means you have to talk.
What else you got? Oh, you had something here about Papa Roach and Daughtry competing on the Celebrity Family Feud.
Do you like game shows?
Yeah, it says the hit game show, which pits two celebrity-laden teams against one another and asks them to answer open-ended questions for points, is set to feature members of these two bands. It was recorded in April.
Yep.
But it will air tomorrow on ABC at 8 p.m. Nope.
Tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Immediately following this podcast, you need to tune into ABC and watch Celebrity Family Feud.
Yeah, and of course, this will be a charity event. Money won by Daughtry will be donated to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And also featured in the same episode will be R&B icons Earth, Wind, and Fire taking on the War and Treaty. I've never heard of the War.
They're R&B icons. And that's tonight. I had to look because I was like, wow, cool. We'll have that to watch next week. But yeah, tonight, immediately following this podcast on ABC. Celebrity Family Feud. Papa Roach and Daughtry. How many other times have we had rock bands on Family Feud?
I don't know.
I mean, there's been plenty of actors, actresses, cheerleaders, all kinds of different stuff. But rock bands, I was trying to remember who all's been on them. And of course, when you type it in, all you're going to get is Papa Roach and Daughtry.
Right. Maybe that's the first time.
No.
That rock could it be? We've done 30 of these, right?
30 what?
Of these Celebrity Family Feuds. Is that what that said?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
So no, I don't know. I don't pay that close attention to Family Feud. But I don't remember seeing rock bands there.
Me neither. I think we should get the Viper on there. Digital Viper needs to go on Family Feud. Him and Natalie, they're the team. Just the two of them against whoever else.
You wouldn't want them against each other?
Yeah, just them, one-on-one, the entire time. They each have to do every question. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're going to make that happen. It would just be interesting. I think.
It could be.
Could be. So everybody, Natalie says it's the four of us would kill it. No, you're on your own. Or we pit those two and whoever they want against you and I and whoever we want.
There you go.
Mrs. Ace, Mrs. TBT, you, me, we got this. One already. I got to tell you a story about Miss TBT.
Go right ahead.
Told me the other day, we're going to call this day Saturday, that she was going to the store. Just run into the store. I'll be back. That was at 2:30.
Yeah, but you live way out.
Agreed. She didn't come home until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my Lord, what happened?
So the store turned out to be in Noblesville for a concert.
Did you not know there was a concert?
I did. I just played it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, the store? I'm going to the store. Yeah, Alanis Morissette,
Okay.
Joan Jett,
Okay.
right? And I don't know who else. I don't remember who it was.
Joan will play with anyone that invites her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this was not your bag, or were you invited?
Oh, no, I wasn't invited.
Yeah, figures.
Yeah, I got the, hey, see you later. I'll be back with some milk. Where are you going? To the store. Okay. Morgan Wade was the opening artist. How do I put this eloquently? She's hot.
Not familiar.
She is a country music artist. Doesn't sound country, apparently live, but she's a country music artist. She has a music video out with a member, I guess, of one of the housewives of whatever county. She's pretty good.
So, how was the rest of the concert?
I was told. So here's my thing. Like, I'll buy T-shirts for a headliner. Like, if the headliner's good, I'll buy a T-shirt. I don't go to the show specifically to get a T-shirt. If the opener is good, I may get a T-shirt. Hence the stitched up heart. I went to that show, wasn't expecting it to be what it was, got a T-shirt to represent them because they were badass. Mama TB, or not Mama TBT, but Mrs. TBT shows up with a Joan Jett shirt and an Alanis Morissette shirt. She said she would go back tomorrow to see Alanis Morissette. She said it was fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, which I've never seen Alanis Morissette. I would even more now because she said that it was good.
Well, she says here that you have went to plenty of shows without her, and it was her turn.
Yeah, I saw that. She's not lying. However, in a week, almost 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, we're going to one together.
Right, the 10th.
Yeah, exactly. Which will be fun. Which we will have plenty to report on.
Yeah,
we've got like 3 or 4 this month. 3, I think.
That we're talking about the Creed concert, and Three Doors Down.
Yeah,
and
Figure 11.
I have heard nothing but good things about this Creed concert.
Have you seen some of the footage?
I have not, but I hear that it's next level stuff. As far as, I mean, they're going all out,
right?
And I think we've talked about this before, but I've also heard that Scott Stapp has not ever been in this good a shape. Like, he's in fighting shape and just ready to kill it every night.
Well, it's so funny that we hear this about the Creed show, because you hear the exact same thing about the Van Halen Sammy Hagar show, that they're just absolutely killing it.
Right, every night. Again, they sound great. They look great. Sammy is a million years old and still kicking, and Joe Satriani is, channeling Eddie Van Halen's ghost and all of that stuff. It sounds amazing. I'm so excited for that concert.
The cool thing about it is that they are having fun.
Yeah.
Because there's times you could watch something and, you can obviously say, they're just up there to perform. They're not really into it because they're constantly going every other night or whatever. But Sammy puts stuff out on social media and he's having fun. He's enjoying it.
And he never stops doing interviews. He never seems to stop. He's always squeezing, something in from the road about this show. And the crowds are good. They're enthusiastic. I think you can get excited if you're Sammy doing this because, you're celebrating an era of Van Halen that, was special to you. You were a huge part of, and plus it's a short tour. It's not, I think there's talk of them doing it longer. if things go well. But I know Sammy doesn't want to keep it too long, just because physically, vocally, he wants to be able to deliver. And so, extending that into December or something like that would be too much.
Yeah, and as we know, there are enough bands out there that probably should stop because they're not doing themselves any favors.
Right, but you do not ever turn down money. We didn't mention it last week, but I talked to you about before we went on the air about Mr. Big doing a show. Yeah, they did a show as a trio without Eric Martin one night. Eric Martin was sick or something. I'm not sure what the situation was, but that's the lead singer and a well-known lead singer. This is not a replacement guy. This is the original guy that did all of those songs. And they said the show must go on, and they did the show. And I guess they split the vocals up between the three of them. I don't know. How do you feel about that if you go to a concert and the singer's not there?
I mean, yeah. What do you want? Do you want to say the show must go on? Or do you say, let's get a refund or a rain check, whatever, and we'll see him again when he's fine?
Other bands have done this. If it's the drummer, they'll get the drum tech out there. Guitar player, maybe something happens to one of the guitar players, and they find a replacement, the guitar tech, for a night. Rarely is it the singer, because he's the guy most visible.
Metallica. They had to stop the show when James got burnt.
Right.
They couldn't continue.
But on the other hand, Kiss did the same thing. Paul Stanley had, a heart attack on stage or something?
Right.
And told them to continue the show without him. And they've continued on as a trio with Tommy and Gene splitting vocals up.
Some bands, the lead singer will fall on the stage, break their leg, they'll just put him in a chair and they'll finish the show. Dave Grohl.
Yeah. That wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, but you're right.
Now, if you're Steven Tyler and you break your vocal box, not much you can do about that.
No. And I really don't want to hear anybody else sing Aerosmith tunes except for him.
Right. But yeah, I just find it fascinating that you show up for the show, and I'm sure they probably got a really good show. Because, Mr. Big is full of stellar musicians and professional players, but, that's the singer.
Yeah. Like, that's what you're familiar with. That's the sound. I mean, yeah, the instruments and the music is different. You know that sound, but, it's like your favorite band deciding to replace the lead singer and they don't sound the same unless they're Journey because they all sound like Stephen Perry.
Right. Or I mean, very rare does a band get it right.
Sure.
Dio would be one for Sabbath, Hagar for Van Halen. They get it right.
Yeah.
But it's rare. And, but I had another point and I lost my train of thought. But,
it's probably that you were going to talk about Corey Feldman and how he rivals the Digital Viper with his guitar virtuoso that is currently floating online.
How do you know this?
Because I know the Viper can play. I also know that Corey Feldman can play. He can slay it, rip it, shred it.
So one of the Coreys.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to post it. You guys can find it on your own. All you got to do is just type it in. Corey Feldman shreds guitar. You won't be disappointed.
But Digital Viper might be.
He'll begin practicing even more. Kathy, good point. Brian Johnson for AC/DC. I mean, yeah, there's bunches of them out there.
Let me tell you a story from the weekend. Uh, I had to meet some people Saturday morning, and some friends of my daughters and their parents, and had a great conversation with the dad because we speak the universal language of music, and he's a big metalhead. But something he said surprised me. Uh, that he's my age, he's our age. He's a big AC/DC fan, but he didn't know that they had a singer before Brian Johnson.
What?
He did not know that. He grew up when we did, listening to all the same things we did, and didn't know. And he was blown away about how good Bon Scott was.
Surprise!
And I said, in all the years, granted, when AC/DC was around in the 70s, they weren't the level they are today. But when Highway to Hell came out, that was kind of the breakthrough. So in all this time, you never heard Highway to Hell. I think he told me he thought it was the same guy, and that happens sometimes. But if you listen really really close and you're familiar with the music, they don't sound the same.
Sure,
they don't. But yeah, that blew me away. That
John
he
Bush,
just real
John Bush with Anthrax.
Right now, Gary Sharon. Come on,
Yeah.
That's someone trying to poke the bear.
Oh yeah. It's someone that doesn't understand how much of a Gary Sharon fan you really are.
Not me.
Oh yeah. See, even got a thumbs up on that one.
It still won't go away, will it?
No. One of these days, I'll tell you how to remove that, but today's not that day.
So I also told you the story about this same person. They have a family member that's into fencing and goes to fencing competitions, and at one of the and they're also a big Iron Maiden fan. So their fencing mask, the mesh is a picture of Eddie, the mascot for Iron Maiden. They go to a competition, and who is there but Bruce Dickinson? And Bruce sees that mask and comes over and talks to them and autographs the mask, and they take pictures. And I just think that was really cool.
And I'm sure he flew in on his own.
Right, he flew in on his own and flew out on his own. And,
yeah.
But to be a Maiden fan, and of all places at a fencing competition, to run into him, because he's got some strange tastes or eclectic tastes. Not strange, but
is that not like a British thing, fencing?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be unusual, but I think it would be unusual that you would run into him wherever you are in the United States, kind of thing.
Yeah, but still, to run into Bruce, all because of your hat, your cover, your helmet, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and then he signed it, and it got retired.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, and put on a shelf.
Yeah,
so
I would have done that in a heartbeat. That's an awesome little thing.
What he didn't tell me was he didn't know that there was a singer before Bruce Dickinson in Iron Maiden. We didn't get that far.
You probably didn't need to.
So,
oh goodness gracious!
Next time I see him, I will blow him away with that information.
You probably will, and he's going to be like, "Wow, do you know all this stuff?" And you just, I know
right
these things.
Top of my head.
Who doesn't know this? You need to get educated, and then you plug the podcast so that he can learn things.
I told him I had a podcast.
Perfect.
Yeah. I hate doing that sometimes though, because I sound like I'm trying to, I don't know, put on airs or something.
You are. It's advertisement.
Like he mentioned somebody. I'm like, oh, he mentioned Milienko.
Oh.
Of Steelheart and how much he liked Milienko. And I'm like, I interviewed Milienko on my podcast. And it just sounds ridiculous coming out of my mouth when I say it.
No way. I did it today. I did it in an email today. I had to email IT because we need microphones for the meetings that we have locally that need to be broadcast live on the internet. And I said, I don't know if you've gotten any stuff. I said, but I use this, and this, and it works out great for my podcast that has over 100 episodes and watched by millions of people. So yeah, I throw that out every day because you have to. Because Natalie doesn't.
No, that's what we pay her for.
Yeah. Paid handsomely and no advertisement from her. Whatever. It's her fault. We're about out of time for this week. You know we'll be back next week. Of course, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. Kathy, Sandra, Mama TBT, the Viper, of course, Natalie, of course, Shannon, Kathy, and whoever I missed or whoever just didn't pipe in because they were too afraid to say something. Don't be. We're going to cut out just a couple minutes early because we've went over a few times, but Ace and I unfortunately lost a comrade, a friend, someone that I would consider a brother, and I know Ace would as well. We lost that person in a tragic accident this past Saturday. So, for what it's worth, this episode is dedicated to him in his memory. And of course, we wish nothing but the best for his family and everybody else. So, hug your loved ones. You never know when the last time is you're going to see them. So we appreciate everybody, and we'll see you guys next week.